Hi everyone, welcome back to DHK. Today we're presenting to you our grading system. This is actually a part of our introductory video and includes the grading pattern for all the tests, the calculation of your final grade, and the minimum grade requirements for the certificate. The tests in one language level, for example A1, can be divided into two parts, namely the individual tests or part 1 and the final test, which is part 2. One has to complete and get a minimum grade in both these parts in order to be eligible for the certificate, and I'll come to that shortly. But before that, let's have a look at the part-wise distribution of the points. The part 1 consists of the individual tests. The individual tests are the tests based on all individual lessons, and the links to these are available in the description of that particular video. These individual tests have a maximum score of 10 points each. The total points obtained from all the individual tests in a particular language level are scaled down to a maximum score of 30 points. For example, if A1 level has 25 individual tests, the total maximum score would be 250. If someone obtains a score of 225 out of 250, this total is scaled down to being 27 out of 30 using the formula on your screen. The part 2 is the final test of the particular language level. The final test has a maximum score of 70 points. More information on the format, pattern, and mode of the final test will be provided to you at a later stage once all the individual lessons are completed. There is also a minimum grade requirement to be eligible for the certificate. In order to pass, you need to make sure you meet these 3 requirements. First, you need to score at least 15 points out of 30 in part 1 of the language level. Second, you need to score at least 35 points out of 70 in the part 2 of the language level. Third, your total score, which would be the sum of your score in part 1 and part 2, should be at least 60 out of 100. For example, if you score 15 in part 1 and 35 in part 2, your total would be 50, which is 10 less than the overall passing score of 60. So in addition to the first 2 conditions, you need to have a total of 10 more points to make sure you meet the third requirement as well. These 10 points can be scored in either of the tests. So if you score 20 points in part 1 and 40 points in part 2, your total score would be 60 points, which meets all the 3 requirements, and you will have passed the test and would be eligible for the certificate. On the other hand, if you score 10 points in part 1 and 60 points in part 2, your total would be 70 points, but you would still not be eligible for the certificate since you don't meet the minimum requirement of 15 points in part 1. I will also highlight some more requirements that have already been mentioned in part 1 of the introductory video, just to make things clearer. Every individual test has exactly 1 question asking for the keyword from that lesson. This keyword question has to be correctly answered for all the individual tests. Only 1 or 2 wrong keywords are acceptable in the entire language level. If you have more than 2 wrong keywords, we cannot issue a certificate to you, so please be very careful about it. Another requirement is to actually submit or complete each and every individual test in a language level. But note that individual tests do not have an individual passing grade. So if you have scored a very low number in a couple of individual tests, don't worry about it. When your total in part 1 gets scaled down to 30, it will not be a big deal. Finally, please make sure you enter your exact unique ID in all of the tests that you attempt. Any errors in unique ID will not be considered. Each level might approximately have around 30 to 35 lessons, so that means completing around 30 to 35 individual tests with just as many correct keywords, along with the final test with at least 15 points in part 1, at least 35 points in part 2, and at least 60 points overall will get you your certificate. All your certificates will be sent to you once you meet all the requirements as mentioned in the introductory videos. You need not worry about it at all. Please be careful while you attempt the tests and keep all the requirements in mind at all times. All the best for the course. If you have any questions, feel free to email or message us. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for quizzes, updates, or contacting us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Have a nice day. See you in the first lesson.